Okay, sine we learned previously was y over r. So cosecant has to be the r over the y because they are reciprocals. So these two are reciprocals of each other. All right, now let's go to the cosine. Cosine we learned the other day was x over r. So that would make r over x. Okay, and then our tangent, y over x. So that would make cotangent x over y. See? All right, now we're going to go back. Since cosecant is the reciprocal of sine, we're going to also rewrite that as 1 over sine. Okay? And our secant is the reciprocal of our cosine, so we're going to consider that also to be 1 over cosine. And our tangent of y over x, remember, is sine over cosine, so that would make cotangent what? Cosine over sine. There you go. All right? Questions on that? And we got those exactly like we got from the other day, because remember we had, from our previous page, we had this reference angle over here, right? And we had our radius of 1, and then we had our y and our x, which gives us all of our, these are all of our functions now with our reciprocals. So secant of 45 degrees. All right, secant. How can we write secant?
1 over 2 squared, whatever.
Okay, well, it's the reciprocal of your cosine, right?
1 times 2.
Okay, so 1, all right, so 1 over square root of 2 over 2. So essentially we will take that reciprocal and we would end up with what?
1 times 2 over square root of 2.
1 times 2 over square root of 2, which would just be what?
2 over square root of 2.
2 over square root of 2, okay? So that is your secant. Now just rationalize it. What do we need to multiply by? Square root of 2. Okay, so we would get 2 square root of 2 over, what's the square root of 2 times itself?
2.
2. Itself, right? Can we do anything else? The 2's cancel, so what are we left with? Good job. Okay? All right, our cotangent of 2 pi over 3. So cotangent, if we look back up here, we see that cotangent is the reciprocal of our tangent. So this time we're going to do cosine over sine. So 2 pi over 3, what's our cosine?
1 over negative 1/2.
Negative 1/2. And we're going to divide that by the sine. And the sine is what?
3 over 2.
Square root of 3 over 2. All right, so let's multiply that out. So negative 1/2 times the reciprocal. So that would be what? 2 over square root of 3. So what happens to the 2's? Cancel. They go to 1. So we're left with negative 1 over square root of 3. Can we leave our answer but like that?
No.
No, we need to rationalize. So multiply by that square root of 3. So we get square root of 3 over what? 3. Yes. Thank you. Who said that? Both of you, thank you. Okay. I think I heard Risha. All right, so let's do secant of 270. Go a different color. Secant of 270. Secant is our what? That's also 1 over cosine. I'm going to bring it over. Shh. Hey. Secant of 270, that's 1 over cosine. All right, 270. What's your cosine? So you end up with 1 over 0, and what would that give you?
Undefined.
Undefined. Good job. And our last one, our cosecant of 7 pi over 6. Cosecant is our 1 over sine. All right, what is our sine to 7 pi over 6? Negative. So 1 over negative 1/2. Yes? Okay. So that would essentially be a negative. Reciprocal of negative 1/2 is negative 2. That's it. What'd you do? Questions on those? Yes, thank you, Jay. All right, we're over here in quadrant 4. If we have a point that is 4 and negative 3. All right. So let's kind of draw in. We've got a reference angle here. So if we have a 4 and negative 3, that means our x value is what? 4, and our y value is negative 3. All right. So what we need to do here is we need to find our radius. This is a right triangle. What do we use to find hypotenuse? What's our? How do we find sides with right angle triangles? What is your formula? Thank you. Remember what it is? A squared plus b squared equals c squared. All right. So we have 4 squared plus 3 squared. We are not going to use the negative because it is distance, right? We don't measure in distance. This is the absolute value. All right. 4 squared is 16. 3 squared is 9. 16 plus 9 is 25. How am I going to get c? Square root. Square root of 25 is 5. All right, so now what you need to do is I want you to come over here and find your sine, cosine, and tangent. Okay, so now we know what our radius is. We can go back and we can find all of our trig functions. So sine is going to be the negative 3 over the 5, because that's your opposite over hypotenuse. Your cosine is going to be the 4 over 5, and your tangent is going to be your negative 3 over your 4, because remember that is your sine over your cosine, or opposite over adjacent. And then to get your cosecant, secant, and cotangent, you will just take the reciprocals. So cosecant would be 5 over negative 3, secant would be 5 over 4, and tangent would be negative 4 over 3.